Sorry. Okay. Mishnich Nasada Barbim Besimcha Vein Simcha El Balim da Torah. So Medaf Moisef Zayin Alim da Torah. It can't be Moisef in the Kamos, it could be Moisef in the Eiros. So first we want to do some Gemorrah today because Tuesday night we do Gemorrah. I'm going to go back in the next two shiurim. There was a Gemorrah Daf Yud Ches and Daf Chof. Ushas we learned it. I said we're going to get back to it when we learn Perek Kira because it's about the Kira. It's about okay. Before that, we have to start with something besimcha. I don't have a good joke. I'll tell you right now. It's not a joke. But I have a geschmack about kivege. Was kann sein? Besser. So I'm learning these halachas. I'm learning with one of my children. So my daughter said, let's do a little bit chazara on Hilchas Chazara. I said, okay.
On Hilchas what?
Chazara. When you're allowed to do chazara.
We pick up the pot and Shabbat.
When you're allowed to do chazara.
Okay.
Chazara and Hilchas Chazara.
Okay.
So she asked me a question. What a very good kasha. What's the kasha? Balabata shekash. The Alter Rebbe says, we paskin, Kanazim paskin, that anything that's lach and the nishbei chamim was katzatz, a little warm with what's left, we say im bishul acher bishul. Only if it's netztan and legamre, we say yesh b'chavashim. We are mekel. We would take Shabbos morning if you see the cholent is dried out or getting dried out. We would take water from the chinik and we would add it to the cholent.
Really hot water or cold water?
Hot water.
Yes, for shalom. That's a skila.
Sfaradim not allowed to add up water.
The Sfaradim don't add water. The Beis Yosef has three problems with it. Number one, he says maybe it's atmona. Oh, we don't pass on like Rashi. We say atmona by. Number two, maybe the zagosa. Zagosa, yeah. What do you mean by like that? I think maybe he meant that when a person starts pouring water, it's kikorev alecha adav that he'll take a spoon and start mixing it. Maybe that's what he meant. And the third thing is he says that maybe the water is going to be less hot and the cholent will be more hot, and therefore the cholent is cooking the water. But we hold, we are making. We would take a chinik and pour in hot water into the cholent if they're both on the blech. Even though you're putting hot water from a chinik, which is eating miklidishin into a klidishin, right. So the water is less hot. The cholent is more hot, right? The cholent is not klidishin. The cholent is more hot. The water is eating miklidishin is less hot. But we're making why? Because we say that as long as yesh boy chamimutz tzas, as long as the liquid has a little bit of ein by bishul achavishul, so can bishul done ishtam. So what's the issue? Chitut kablech. What's the issue? You're not allowed to put something new because nida kemavachel. But the China tachechi given up the blech. So embaya. Bottom line, Shkanazim make. If there is in the morning, you see the cholent is going on a very is going.
We don't have to worry about Abayanko's showing. We don't have to worry. Soup.
Yeah. But some people have a problem in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question. Alter Rebbe says if it's cold, if they say you have chicken soup or watery cholent, it's cold. Over there we hold yesh b'bishul acher bishul. There's a problem. You're not allowed to. It's a bishul Shabbos. It's a skila.
Even though the chicken mevushal already.
Yeah, but now since it's cold, yesh b'bishul acher bishul. But the Alter Rebbe says, remember we learned last week that you're allowed to put it b'mokim she'eni yatzeh ledis boy.
Next to the fire.
B'mokim she'eni yatzeh ledis boy.
To warm it up.
Yeah.
Not to warm up, to take out the coldness.
Yeah. So my daughter asked a simple question. So I'm going to have a trick. Step one, step two. First, I'm going to put the chicken soup or the cholent, b'mokim she'eni yatzeh ledis boy. Then the liquid is going to get a little bit warm.
And then you can.
And then, the minig is, according to the Ashkenazim, that once it's a little bit warm, it's not a problem. You already could make it even the Yatzeh Ledis boy. As long as it's a little bit warm, we say in bishlach habishul.
What you want to do? What you want to do?
A chicken soup from the freezer. Gonna take it, put it b'mokim, or from the refrigerator.
Samuch.
We'll put it samuch b'mokim she'eina yatze ledus.
Okay.
Now the chicken soup became, a little
It's
bit
hot.
warm.
All right.
Now that we paskin that if there is yesh boy baroitev chamimus ktsas, then you're allowed to be machamim it, and you can make it very hot.
Okay.
So now I'm going to put it b'mokim shayat salad's boy.
Right.
Take it the way.
I'll take from the fridge the chicken soup, put it
Samuch.
far from the fire,
Right.
and now it'll get a little warm. Once it's a little warm, we say you're allowed to make it.
I'm going to take some water from the china.
No, not the shot. No,
Put it there. Now
I'll take the chicken soup from the fridge. I'll put it b'mokim she'ena yatzelet. It'll become chaminus tzas.
This is a problem of chazor.
No, 10 feet from the fire. We're talking about.
But now that it's not on the fire, you're going to put it up. You're not allowed to put something on the blech.
No, not on the black, outside the black.
So there's no problem.
Oh, see, it's a skila. If
Why?
you take a pot of cold chicken soup and you put it b'mokim shayat seled.
No, not going to you said
Samuch.
Samuch. But if in this place you're going to leave it here for an hour and then this soup is going to become yatze ledis in the soup, so that's mevashel.
Then you put it then it's like if you put it on the blech, you're not allowed to.
Okay, but we said that if the oichel yesh boy chamimus ktsas, if the soup is a little bit warm, so because you're not putting it on the blach, you're putting it somewhere.
It was very little time on the next to the oven.
It was longer.
If you take,
place is not the
there's two places next to the Tana. There's a place which is very hot. If you put food there, be yad seledis, and then there's another place where ain't a yad seledis. So b'mokim shayad seledis b'mokim in next to the.
Not allowed to.
No, 1 second. You're allowed to put chalas, and you're also allowed to put chicken soup that yesh boy chamimus ktsas. If there's a little bit of chamimus, you're allowed to put it there, because we paskin that as long as the liquid is yesh boy chamimus ktsas, there's aim by bishlach habishul because the yesh boy chamimus ktsas.
Chamimus ktsas is when before Shabbos or after Shabbos.
Right now, when I'm putting it, has to be the yesh boy chamimus ktsas.
So that when it was chamimus ktsas before Shabbos, and just now I'm just continuing.
Shabbos in the morning.
No, you're asking a good question.
It's a big difference.
It's a very
Shabbos in the morning.
No,
the pashtus is that
take it off of the fridge and Shabbos. So that it was
but this is the question. Why? What difference does it make? We Lepoel the Shulchan Aruch says that if the tafshil yesh boy chamimus ktsas, the roitev yesh.
Let's make a trick by putting it chamimus ktsas,
and then we'll put
it on the blech.
Not next to the blech, not on the blech.
It'll be warm.
Right. The answer is you can't do it. Why? Because there's a Rebbe Eges, a Geschmack Rebbe Eges at the end of the sentence. Rebbe Eges says like this. We're going to learn the Mitzvah. The Alter Rebbe talks about if a whole thing that if the shiksa put water in the oven before she chopped the wood, and then she put the wood in the oven, if you're allowed to have enough from that water.
Why not?
Why? Yeah. Why?
She put the wood in the oven to warm the oven, not to make it.
Right. So the Lepoel will make them. Okay. So the Yid wanted it, then we're going to get to
what
it.
She did, לצורך עצמה או לצורך די. If she did לצורך די, she מבשל for you, so you're not allowed to.
Right, so that we'll get to that.
Okay.
But the Alter Rebbe is very smart. The Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch doesn't say why the Yid wants to have anoah from the water. What in the Mogen Avram says, it's talking about the Yid wants to wash his dishes. That the dishes from last night has shuman on it, has
So you need hot water.
and he wants hot water. So the Mogen Avram asks a shaila, hey, wait a minute. The din is that you're not allowed to take ice and Shabbos and crush it. To take the ice and you're allowed to put ice in the water,
but you can't crush it.
But you can't crush it. It's moiled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which what?
Moiled. You make something new. You're making.
You're not allowed to take water and put it in the freezer to make ice.
What does it? You're not allowed to make water ice and ice water. So l'chayda here, you take the shuman and you turned it into water. So you did something also. So therefore, he says, you know what? Just to have an eitzah, says the Mangaram. Just like you're allowed to have seltzer and put a cube of ice inside, and the ice melts.
By itself, it's not.
So take a big pail, put in the hot water, and then put in all the dishes
inside.
In dash, it's like ice cubes that go in the water, and then automatically the shuman will go off.
But the shuman is garbage.
Yeah,
That's what he
the
You're not
wants.
water
gonna
will go.
drink it.
No,
Ice you're gonna drink.
what's the difference? The point is, you're not allowed
Yeah.
to. Oh, difference. Drinking, not drinking. The point is not.
You
If you're
have
not
to
planning
do it
to, you're not allowed to
now.
take ice and crush it
Right.
and just spill it on
This
the
I
floor.
understand.
Why? Because you took the ice, you made it into
You make
water.
something else, yes.
So same thing here. These are schmaltz cubes. There's ice cubes and schmaltz cubes. You're not allowed to, just like you're not allowed to take ice cubes and go like this and melt it and make it into water. You're not allowed to take schmaltz cubes and melt it and make it into water.
It doesn't make difference if you use it or not.
No, it's a
The
different.
water you use with the ice. The shuman you don't use is garbage.
No, it's a good time. It's a good time.
That's what I
Well,
think.
it's better, whatever. But that's talking why it's not as bad. You're good. You're good timing. But the Rebbe Akiva Eger asks, you're good time. That's talking. Maybe why you should be makel. Rebbe Akiva Eger asks, wait a minute. I don't understand. Couldn't the Morgan everyone think of a double poshut? I mean, the guy's putting hot water in Shuman. He's cooking on Shabbos. The Shuman is cold.
The shuman was cold, and now you make
Hot
it
water.
Yeah.
jelly.
Yeah,
It was jelly. It
yeah.
was jelly, and now you
And now you made water.
right.
So he says, this is now Rebbe Akiva Eger. Kovet Chodesh Adar, Lena Rebbe Akiva Eger. So he says like this. We paskin that the Shuman is like a Dova Yovish. Now, the Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch says very
Like the
moed.
rubbish? What?
Well, because that's the way the Ashkenazim pass. Then the Shulchan Aruch, the Alter Rebbe is also Mekel, and the Sid, the Alter Rebbe is Machmer. So, it's a Dova Yovish. But he says, but 1 second, wait a second. The first time, usually when you wash dishes, you put hot water. Okay, the big schmaltz comes up. Then you put more hot water. Then you put more. Say you put hot water, and then you put some soap, and you put more. You don't give one rinse in hot water and it's clean. I mean, that doesn't work that way.
You're allowed to use brush when you put
That's a
it?
separate question. It's a good question. So yes, the
You
first
can't break
time,
grease
okay, you
without,
tell me hot water. Huh?
You can't break
Hello?
grease without soap. You need soap to break the grease.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he
so
didn't go
without-
into the union of soap. We already once spoke that soap is not a problem. We spoke from about Avraham Chaim Noah.
Right.
We liquid soap. But say let's move that aside, the soap issue. So he says the first time you pour,
We wash the dish with smuts.
how to say, the first time you pour water,
What I'm saying is the warm water is not really what's breaking the grease and doing anything. I mean, you're doing it for your own probably comfort more than removing the grease.
well, if
you
the
wash
water
it
is
with
very hot, mamish very hot, it does take off the grease.
It makes it easier when you
Maybe it
clean.
doesn't make it as clean as me and you would like because we're Amerikanskis and we're used to a high level of Nikoyan. Istanisani. But could be for them. I mean, the way the Magen Avraham and the Rebbe Akiva Eger describe washing the dishes, it sounds like they poured hot water once, twice, 3 times, and call it a day to clear it clean. It sounds like they didn't even put soap. I'm just saying that soap is a separate issue. But this, if you read the Magen Avraham, that it's the last Magen Avraham and the last Rebbe Akiva Eger in Gimel. It's not the last Magen Avraham; it's 2 before the last, and it's the last Rebbe Akiva Eger. So Rebbe Akiva Eger says if you pour the water, the first time you pour the water, it's yavish, so it's not a problem. And now the second time you pour the water, it's already lach. So he says a chiddush like this. And here's the chiddush. Here's the chap of Rebbe Akiva Eger, which is moide de geschmack. Moide de geschmack. Halkop. So he says like this. He says when we say it has to be a little bit warm, it doesn't mean that you took it out of the refrigerator and you made it a little bit warm. That doesn't help. What does it mean? This is the shadow you asked before. A little bit warm means that it's still a little bit warm from the original cooking. If it's still a little bit warm from the original cooking, loy poke shem bishul minei. And we say in bishul bishul. The original bishul is still here.
Okay.
But once it becomes frigid, you're going to warm it up a little bit. Okay, that's not a problem. But then when you're going to warm it more, and you're going to make it from less than a yad zeledus to yad zeledus, you will even it's a bishul. So l'chayda, so he asks a shayla. The lumdus is all part of the shayla, but this is going to help us understand to answer the question that I started off with. So l'chayda over here, the dish schmaltz. Once it's liquidy, 5 minutes ago was ice cold. And now, so the fact that it's a little bit warm doesn't help me because the little bit warm,
It's a new warm.
it's a new warm. It has to say in bishalach bishul b'tavalach. If there's a little bit chamimus, means it's the original chamimus. His loy poka shem bishule minei. The original chamimus is there. But if you can make a new chamimus, that's not going to help.
Right.
That's not going to help. And if a person's talking going to cook it now from under yatzlad to over yatzlad, this was if it's a bishul. So that Akiva says, I have a teretz for that. Because the first time he poured was a mutter, because the schmaltz is yavish. So now aim by bishul because yesh lo shem avushul, because it's yavish, it has the denim avushul. So because loy pokem in shem, and as soon as it got a little liquidy, it also was warm. So it was never not mavushul. It was never not mavushul. When it was schmaltzy, hard, when it's hard, it's considered dava yavish. So loy poka shem bishulimine. And as soon as it warmed up, it's gite v'yode boim ka'achas. So it's a viter. So it was never poka shem bishulimine. This food was never uncooked. It was never 1 second that was uncooked. It always stayed the old bishul.
It wasn't warm.
It was yavish, and then it went right away warm. And then he said, but however, he says this chidush is tzorich iyu. Oy v'doik v'oy tzorich iyu. It's a little funny. What do you mean? It's like, but Lepoila was cold, so
It's just cold, but it's not.
Leila Lagabi the
You're
Yom.
not
You say,
cooking again.
yeah, but we say when something is liquidy. So
What's the
if
difference
it
if the liquid was jelly or really like water or
it's
like
a little bit.
There's chicken soup, there's a vegetable soup.
I know, but he's
being
being mitzaref a few things. He's saying,
This is
but
liquid, but it's different, a little bit more jelly.
but this liquid, but this he's saying, okay, whatever. This is what he's saying. This is the bottom line of what he's saying. So, and then he said, so nachzel in your name. Now,
I had a question before.
yeah.
You said before that you take soup from the fridge and then you put it next to the blender. If you take from the freezer soup, take longer time. You can do it?
Same thing. Fridge and fridge, same thing. If it's if the original chamimus went away, you can only put it in a place where
It
even
take
if
much longer time.
doesn't matter, it
Okay.
has to be in a place. But even if it was there for 5 hours, it'll never get to Yad Selad's boy.
By the way, to take ice from the fridge, put in a clip, wait till it be warm, put the water and drink it, you're not allowed to do shot.
So that's a suffix. That's a suffix. Whatever. I'll make
drink it, you're allowed to, but just
allowed.
make it melted.
Stop.
And now I want to drink cold water, this is not allowed.
Okay. So now this is going to answer our original shaila. When now the Rabbi Akiva Eger gave us a beautiful lumdus. And we went off the whole arichas, but just it's not negay as the whole arichas. It was just as a special treat for Adar. That the lumdus and the Rabbi Akiva Eger, but just the nekudas lumdus is the reason why we are meko and we say that something that's liquidy, aim by bishlach and bishlam, there's a little bit chamimos, is because you say loy porka shem bishulam inei, because it was cooked and it's still the original warmth. It's still the original warmth. So therefore, loy porka shem bishulam inei, it's still cooked. And the rule is aim bishlach and bishlam. If something is cooked, you can't double jeopardy. You can't cook it a second time if it's cooked. It has to be porka shem bishulam inei. But in the question that I asked in the beginning of the shiur tonight was that a person going to take a chicken soup out of the refrigerator. First, he'll put it 20 minutes b'mokim sheni ad saladas. It'll become chamtzas. Then he'll put it closer to the, not on the oven, chatz v'shalom. I'll put it closer to the oven b'mokim shayat saladas boy. No, it's not going to work. Absolutely not going to work. Because once it was in the refrigerator, it was poker shem b'shulam inay. So when he warmed it up and it was less than Yatzlad's boy, he didn't do anything. But now, as soon as he puts it to the place where Yatzlad's boy, so the second that goes from under Yatzlad's, he was Rachmon al-Islam Mevashel b'Shabbos. Something that was already cooked and even a drop warm. Less than Yatzlad's, you're allowed to warm it up because that's the original warmth. So because it's the original Vadamkeit, because it's the original Vadam guide, so we say like Poka Shem Bishulam Inay and Aim Bishalach Bishul. So that answers the question. 1 second. But now I have another call. Maybe I'm going to be a smart aleck. I'm going to be a smart aleck. Every Lubavitcher can be a smart aleck based on this, maybe. Based on a Akiva. Hey, 1 second. I'm going to be a smart aleck. The Alter Rebbe says in the Piskei Siddur, Hilchos Rab Shel Shabbat. There's 1 page, very important halachas. There's 4 very important nekudas that the Alter Rebbe Chumras that the Alter Rebbe has. The Alter Rebbe, the 4th nekuda is Ava b'shem bishul acha bishul b'davei yavish. Kol makom im choyze v'nimchem memenu ktsas. Yesh by bishul acha bishul v'lachluchis hamachu im hayat zelad es boy. Lakein tzorich lezor b'm oid. Keloi lahochem basar. Oy oifet sluima v'shalom im yischamem amoyla nimchem mehem at sheyat zelad es boy. V'shum isur tzekila v'koris chaz v'shalom. If you have cooked chicken, according to the Shulchan Aruch, it's Davai Yavish. There's a little bit Shuman, Shanimcha. That's also Yavish.
Okay.
But there is shittas that say, no, that's not Yavish. As soon as it's going to melt,
It's cooking again.
and it's going to turn into lach. So bilach, that's Netztan and Lagambre. The lach. Yeah.
Right.
So therefore, Lubavitch remember I spoke about the babshi pan. For Lubavitch, the babshi pan is not going to help that much. What are you going to put inside? Cold cuts you can't put because there's a lot of
Oily.
what are you going to put? Salami? What are you going to put? Bologna in there?
You're going to put
Corned beef?
Chaleo
Say there.
Lokshenkugel.
Even lokshen you could say that has oil, because it has a lot of oil in it that gets congealed. Once you're ready choishish for isur skila v'koris chaz v'sholem, you're ready. It's the horinka. So now I have a trick for every Lubavitcher. Maybe say like this. First, I'm going to put it far away. B'mokim.
Just to chill it out.
Yeah, but no. Well, but here's going to work just like a Bekiv because originally when before it melted, it's a davar yavish. So I'm a lot of warm up, something that's yavish. Now, after it got a little bit warm, now it turned into liquid, but now it's already warm liquid.
Even though it was happening.
Now it's already warm liquid.
Even though it happened on Shabbos, but
so I'll be like the step 1, step 2. If I put it to a very hot place, I could say it went in a second from being congealed to being liquid yatzeledus. But if I put it a little further away, where I know it takes slowly.
When my kid was baby on Shabbos, when my wife cannot nose, so we took similar. You have to keep it in the fridge when they open it.
Yeah.
Put it in the bottle, and then put in a quart hot water, and put the bottle in the hot water.
Yeah, we did it too.
Yeah.
That's mamash from cold to warm in a way that the baby could drink it. It's not what is it called? It's not mevashel, but you took off the coldness.
Yeah. Over there.
Everybody does.
Also now
the water.
we had cold water.
It's not shaykh to be you. It's
you're not mevashel nothing.
Right, because the water you're not going to make it in the way of yatzeledus. You're putting the hot water that you're putting because you don't want the isolac, whatever to become yatzeledus boy.
Right.
You're going to put water that's not going to allow the milk to get so hot.
In Shabbos morning, the water was so cold, so I took from the hot water from this and put.
For listeners.
Make it like
a half share.
That's it.
So
I got a question. It's always bothering me.
Yeah. 1 second. Let me finish the oibachachim thing. So I give you oibachachim Lubavitcher, and I'm going to say I'll do just like Rebbe Akiva's Eges trick worked for the washing the dishes. That's step 1. I just put out water, and there was yavish. So by yavish is like pakashem bishul minay. Now that it turned into lach, but as soon as it turned into lach, it's already a little warm. So and again, loy pakashem bishul minay, and anything which is liquid and is a little warm is aim by bishlach bishul. So l'chayda, but from the fact that the Alter Rebbe was soisim and said you're not allowed to, said tzorich l'zor b'moed shaloi lahochem basar. And he never said, but if you put it further away, it's the sauce. Mashma lechumra. So I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'm not sure the Alter Rebbe buys the holomdus of Rebbe Akiva Eiger. And when we're going to learn Mitzvah Shem at the end of summation of Gimel, when he brings about the hot water, so usually he quotes all the poskim. And the Magen Avraham and the poskim before him that talk about that the Yid wants to use the hot water in order to wash dishes. And the Alter Rebbe says the Yid wants to have enough of the water. It doesn't say a word about washing dishes. The Alter Rebbe might have had a problem with the washing dishes. Maybe he did have a problem. That's bishul.
Food from the bread.
And oh wow, so this mitzvah. Chelik in the mitzvah. Shkoyach.
From Williamsburg.
No. This is from the. So just to summarize, I that's why I think we can't say because according to the Akiva Eiger himself says Oid Tzorechim. So it's like didn't say to do.
Because yes, it's kosher, it's right, but
but throughout the Alter Rebbe didn't even the Alter Rebbe is a chidush dover. In the end of Reish Gimel, he says the Yid wants to be nana from this water. Doesn't say because he wants to wash dishes. Usually he doesn't cut and paste. He cuts and pastes bediuk. Whatever the poskim we're talking about, he says the Yid wants to be nana from the water. He doesn't say because he wants to use it for dishes. Maybe Taka the Alter Rebbe had a bedaita problem. That's besides the Isser of Moilid, so the Rabbanon, you can be Mekel. Say he didn't really want to be Moilid, he really put in a big bucket. But Lagavi Bishul, what are you going to say? So maybe the Alter Rebbe held the Takazoi, you're not allowed to wash your dishes on Shabbos with hot water because what do you mean? The schmaltz is going to turn into liquid. So the schmaltz, it's the first whoosh of water is Taka Yovish and ain't by Bishul. The second whoosh of water, now it's lach. It's a little warm, but that warmth is not the original warmth. It's a new warmth. And to be metzadev this and this, he didn't hold of that. So if he didn't hold of that, he wouldn't hold of this.
I wash my dishes with cold water and doing the same thing then. So that's what's
No, when you're washing with cold water, there's only a noila chayla. So if a noila kamazagni, you didn't really want to make water, you could. It's a derabonan. It's all more kuladi. But when you're washing your dishes with cold water, bishul, can't talk about bishul. As soon as it's cold, you can't talk to me about bishul. And bishul is the serious thing. That's what the Rebbe Akiva Eiger didn't understand. How come the poskim before him they were talking about the whole Chakravatari, about the Yid wants to use the hot water on Shabbos to wash dishes, and the only thing they could think of is maybe there should be noilot, not noilot. Why did they think of bishul?
What if it's a cliche? Like you were saying with the similar bottles.
Yeah, so maybe that's what the Alter Rebbe was thinking. That the Yidden was putting it from a Klidishan to Klisheni, and or Klishlishi, whatever. The Alter Rebbe didn't mention that the Yid wants to be nana in order to wash dishes. So I can't use the Rebbe Akiva Eiger. Maybe the Alter Rebbe didn't hold of that sort of Rebbe Akiva Eiger. When the Alter Rebbe says that Lizor me'oid shaloi lehochim bosar oifes tluyim im yischamem hamoyel animcha mehem ad she'etzledz b'im shmisu skila ukores chas v'shalom mestimus l'shoynetz mashma no way no how. Not that there is some way. If you put it in a place where it goes slow motion, so then it would be mutter. It doesn't sound that way. Vadover oid tzorich ilum.
The Rav said that you're allowed to add hot water. You're allowed to add alay. The first crock pot's alay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you could add hot water to it, yeah, because we.
Take it off.
Oh, while
you don't take it out of the crock pot and then do pasar
after. While it's on the fire, no, it shouldn't be a problem because what's the problem? That's an idem klidishin. First of all, it's idem klidishin. It's not klishani. It's idem klidishin.
Oh.
It's idem klidishin.
If you're taking the original pot that's on the fire.
Yeah. Chinik.
Well, chinik is already klishani.
No, I'm talking a pot of hot water. Chinik. The kumkum. It's sitting on the blech. So the cholent is sitting on the blech, and the kumkum is sitting on the blech.
So it doesn't have to take off the thing off the blech.
Ashkenazim that make no.
I always took off the blood. Is it making it worse?
No, not making it worse. Why is it making it worse? Maybe he's making a drop better because one of the three tainas that it says three tainas against this practice. One, he said it's called atmana according to Rashi. It's atmana b'aychim. We don't agree with that because you put in the water here. It's atmana. We don't hold of that. We don't hold atmana b'aychim. Number two is he says there's an issue of megis. So what was the issue of megis? What do you mean megis? Just by pouring water over the thing, it's megis. But if it is an issue of megis, so on the fire, megis is 10 times worse than off. What's megis? Megis is every time you take a spoon and you. It's again, it's isa deraisa. makes the very people. We're gonna get the shit test.
People don't realize that they're doing it with the chont while it's in the blech.
Right, that's
Take it
the
off
problem.
blech,
That's the
make
problem.
that equal
That's why you
make
really
it
have
okay.
to take it off the fire in order not to have a problem with making. So it's not making.
Or I can put it back in the blender.
Yeah, Elamai, Ramot is hold of it, but that you ask him, does a mile take her off from the fire? So that's the mile. But it's at least there's less taina of agosa. The third taina that the Beis have had in it is that one is a little cooler, and one is and bishlach a bishul. But we hold as long as there's a famimus tzas, so there's no bishlach a bishul.
We still hold the
The issue that abonon that you're putting something and there's no blech. They're both originally on the blech, so it's not a problem. Okay, let's look at the Gemara. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't let you ask your question. Now ask a question.
No, it's a question that it's happened to me. Serving soup from the blech. That's okay. Right?
From
Yeah, just-
not on the fire, not when it's on the
top
fire.
of the
Move it off the fire.
Okay, you have to move the whole pot.
It's not that lochus we're learning out after
I
Pesach.
understand, but it's bothering
But
me.
yeah. You have to move it off the fire because when it's on the fire, any little movement you're making with the spoon is called hagosa. Hagosa means one of the things to cook is that you put a spoon inside and you start mixing. And megas is a hiyu bishul. It's mamish, it's bishul. Because that's mitzorche habishul. It's part of the cooking.
So when you put it down, you can put it back in the blech. I serve.
Oh, so that was the question I
have-
spoke last week. Yochanan Davis asked. I think Lakula. I'll tell you why. His question was.
No, because I have
For-
another fourth
Yeah.
friend come in.
Yeah.
Keep it warm for them.
For
So I put it back.
Svardim, for sure, it's not a problem. No, he'll take the pot off the fire,
Right.
take the food out, and
Sure.
then put it back. So with Svardim, it's for sure not a problem because you didn't put it al gabi karka. Ashkenazim need to have tanoi chazora, which your hand was still on the pot.
You have to have tonight.
Tanai chazora. This, according to
mean
the
I gotta put it
Svardim,
back.
no, right. So Svardim say as long as you didn't put it on the floor, you're good enough. But Ashkenazim say that your hand still has to be on the pot. But I said in the last year that I think Lakula, why there is a svara from Rav the Devritzin Rov that he says that when the Chazal said you have to still have your hand on, it's when you're taking it off the kidduv lagamri. It's on the blech. It's hard to imagine that that's what Chazal meant, that you still have to have your hand on it. It's his svara. I'm afraid of Shulchan Aruch. But anyway, the Ran holds that on Shabbos itself you don't have to have Tanai Chazon. It's only if you took it over before Shabbos. So even though the Alter Rebbe says, and there are more paskins that way. He says Minagoyel is to be mekel. The Alter Rebbe says that Yiddish Shemaim should be mach. Okay, but it's on the blech. There's a svara to say that you don't need any Tanai Chazora. So that's what I said last week. Yes, he said that's what Yochanan Davis asked. The chont is on the fire. I'll move it off the fire, take off the chont, and then move it back. But I'm not going to keep my hand on the pot.
It's Yatzalad is on the side, no?
Yeah, but still, it doesn't. Well, who cares? It's Yatzalad. It's L'chayre Mitzad. Tanoi Chazora. So what? It's not on the fire. It's not on the fire.
Fire is good for Tumor.
Okay, so but in the place of the fire is the fire. On the side, L'chayre has to be Tanoi Chazora. Has to be Oida B'Yodai. Lagabi the other things, I wouldn't be makel. I would say Lagabi, if he took it off the fire, put it in a different pot. I don't know if I'd be makel. But I would say Lagabi this. There's two svaras together. Number one, that to say, come on, that Chazal didn't mean that you need toy chazorah when you put it from the fire to the side back. It's not what they meant. That it has to be oil of the yodeh. Anyway, the Ran says
The platter, if the thing is hot, I mean mixing it and cooking it.
no, but we pass Kentucky that the hagos is only on the fire when you move it on the side. No, that's what.
On fire.
Yeah,
Or
hagos is only on the fire.
Fishul is on heat, not on fire. Fire is just a hechatimsa.
We'll get to Shinyut Yud Ches. That's what will be done on it. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it's a good question that he asked, because we're pushing it off the fire because he's telling me this is nishken fire, and therefore I'm allowed to take food out of it, and there's no megas. And you're talking from two sides of your mouth. You're telling me that if I moved it off the fire, and it's a besed. Now it's not.
I always thought when taking on fire means take it off the heat, completely off the heat.
No, but I understand why, but the Welt is not to be makel to say that lagabe the chumra that we shouldn't take out of the pot. So only if it's mamish on the fire. If you move it in the side to the blech, the Welt is makel. That's why a lot of people are makel that way.
Something.
A lot of people do it that way. That's why someone asked. No, okay, that was the question. So okay, I think it's beseder.
Yeah.
So you have beta miles. It's not megas because not mamash on the fire. On the other hand, you can be makel to say that you don't have to have tnoy chazor. It's really megas is a deraisa issue. So you're touching a very so mamash when it's on the fire. I mean, taking food gently out of the pot is not really megas. It's just that we're scared of megas. Saying, "Oh, my mamash on the fire." Okay, we learn the Gemara still.
Rebbe, what does megas mean, by the way, again?
Huh?
What does megas mean again?
What?
Megas, what does megas mean?
Megas means when he takes the spoon, puts it on the pots, and shakes around the food.
And are you allowed to do that on Shabbos?
No,
Why? Because it's
That's-
bishul?
that's bishul. That's because one of the things when a person cooks, he puts the chicken, he puts the water, he puts the carrots, he puts the salt, and then he takes a spoon and mixes it all together. That's one of the tzarchei bishul.
So just make sure I got it right. Megas is if you put a spoon in the pot and you mix it
And you
around?
mix the pot. That's mavashel b'Shabbos.
Okay. Mix it around.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the other thing I want to ask you is why is it bishul bishul if the soup is already cooked before Shabbos?
Next to the black.
Noch einmal?
Hello,
He
Rebbe.
made on Friday night, it was on the black, everything good. Leftover. Shabbos morning, he said, "What's so good? I want to eat more, but you don't want to eat from the fridge cold. So I want to put it down next to the black to warm up, right on the black."
Right. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. So the Alter Rebbe says that anything that has moichal,
The schnitzel has oil inside, for sure.
so right. So that's the problem. This is what I'm asking her. The Alter Rebbe is machmir. The Alter Rebbe is the mokim that it could come to Yad Salat. If you put it so far, it'll never come to Yad Salat. It's not a problem. Okay, let's learn a little bit Gemara.
Give me Rebbe. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to know is why is it bishul if the soup is cooked already, fully cooked before Shabbos?
You know what? Really, we have to get to Simon Shinyu's test. It's just in passing. So let's wait till we get the Shinyu's test, and then we'll dive into it. Okay?
All right, and what is that, Wednesday night?
No. After Pesach, before Pesach, we're not diving into that sugi.
No, but I'm just asking, is that what Rebbe learns, part of what Rebbe learns Wednesday night usually with halacha?
No. I'm just mentioning it because a little bit has to do with tonight. We're not going to learn about it seriously till after Pesach.
Okay. All right, but no, all I'm asking is that when you learn it after Pesach, is it going to be on a Wednesday night or is it going to be
Tuesday night.
When you learn Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay, so this way I'll be there with the Gemorrah shiur like I usually try to be.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes. Daf Yud Ches Amud Beis, 4 lines from the top. Yud Ches.
What daf? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Daf Yud Ches Amud Beis, 4 lines from the top.
You test?
Yud plus a Ches.
Ches 18, Chai.
Chai.
You test on the base. Okay.
Chai Amud Beis.
And where on the daf?
4 lines from the top.
Top, okay.
Why am I going here? Because when we learned it originally, I said that you really have to learn Kira and then look back at these two pieces of Gemara. Okay. Should I help you?
I could have sworn that.
Yeah, that.
Didn't have anything there. We have one.
Very good.
Swan.
So this mitzvah.
Yeah.
Take one of each.
No, thank you.
Okay. Sag die Gemara. Man, Tana Lod, the Tana Rabbanon. 4 lines from the top. We said in the Tana Rabbanon, Loite mal isha kedera asosius v'turmusin. V'taniach l'toy katanu erev Shabbos im chashech. That a person shouldn't fill up a pot with associate turmusin like squash or they're these things that take 20 hours to cook. They take a very long turmusin tzrichim tikun. It's a medrash, it takes a long time to cook. There's a story that he asked Sholo Alamila. The medrash says that one of the big smart people of Yovan, Roimi, asked Rabbi Akiva, "Im Chaviva Amila, Aloma Nivra Odem Ora." So Rabbi Akiva answered, Hakashinov. My every year at the Seder, I tell over this word to my Zayda that Hakashinov. Why would tell Rosh Hakashinov? Because the Rosh says you're born without a beard. Why do you need a beard? Shave the beard. So we tell them you're born without your teeth. So even was
like the first person that came to the chuppah with the pacifier.
Yeah.
That's not what is this. He said by the breeze. He told me Hashem shenichas the breeze. Can he cancel?
There you go. So Tamusin Rabbi Akiva answered that Tamusin tzrichem tikun, hakol tzrichem tikun, hashabarul kim lasis. That the Eibishter made the dafke that a person should be made noifin she'enim etuken. And just like he said Turmusim, which is something that takes many hours to cook, but it's geschmack. But you have to work hard and cook it for many hours until it's moroi lachila. So the same thing here. Sashgacha Protes, the Gemara tonight has some shaykhs to mila. So loite mal isha kederis associate to Musa Mataniach, Shabbos and Chashecha. She shouldn't do it. In Nosdam, if she put it, so then it's also or Lamotza Shabbos Asurim B'Chadei Sheyasu. It's also to eat a Matzah Shabbos as many hours it took to cook. So for 20 hours, you have to wait after Shabbos 20 hours. Similar to that, so the Braisa Lo Yamala Nachtum Chodesh Shalmayim. And Nachtum shouldn't fill up a barrel of water. It's not allowed to use this water hot Shabbos as long as it would take you to heat up the water. So the Gemara talks about Shvisas Kalim. Mishama says there's a mitzvah of Shvisas Kalim. The Kalim have to rest on Shabbos. Basil says not. But over here, the Brais seems to hold like Mishama. So the Gemara, no, that's not a question. Filatem Basilo. I can say this is Basilo. Over here, there's a separate issue. The problem of putting the raw food in the Tanur, Erev Shabbos and Chashecha, is because it's the Gzeira Shem Yechata B'Gecholim. So it's a very funny Gemara. What the Gemara didn't realize about Shem Yechata B'Gecholim. But the Gemara it's like Yechab. If you're going to tell me that the issue over here is Gzeira de Rabbanan Shem Yechata B'Gecholim, Mugmar V'Gofris, we said the base Hillel says you're allowed to put spices over the fire over your begodim, and it's allowed to the whole Shabbos. The good smell goes into the begodim. So Nami Ligzer, you should be goes that person with Machati Macholim. So the Gemara has some Machati, but there's no reason to say Machati Macholim. We know for sure he won't be Machati if he's going to make and shake the Gecholim Solik Bekutre. Then the black of the eitzim are going to go up, and it's going to ruin the kashile, and it's bad for the begodim. Instead of having a good smell, it'll have a terrible smell. So therefore, we're not scared of the mechatam b'chol. Unashapishtum nami ligzer. So also by unashapishtum with Etzilel was mekel, should be over the fire. Why are we not gozer? It'll be mechatam b'chol. So awesome, given the kashile zika. It's very bad. The wind is very bad for the pishtam. So Allah Megalile is not going to open up the tanur, start shaking around the gechola. Tzemer liyoyra ligzer. So the Beis Hillel said you're allowed to put tzemer liyoyra in order for it to get the color, to dye the tzemer. So why are you not making a gzeira? Mashmula liyoyra akuda, because the pot is off the fire. So still, the neicha shema make his book. The choshesh that he's, even if it's not on the fire, if he wants your choshesh that he'll want to be memahir, so maybe he'll want to be memahir by being megas water, because just like they cook food, also when you cook spices with water with dye, they would put a spoon inside, mix it, and that would equalize that the color should be b'chol makom b'shavet. So the Gemara answers, it's talking about ba'akura betucha, that the pot is off the fire, and also it's sealed on the top with a plaster. So what is it going to help that it's sealed with plaster? According to Rashi says v'tucha mechusa v'kisa shelo v'tucha v'titzaviv the kula hai loitorach mitke. It's not shayas.
You're not going to break the seal.
It's like Shabbos Hayoim. Yeah, By the time he finishes breaking the seal, he's going to remember it's Shabbos. Sagt the Gemara v'Hasha Damar Mar. Okay. Again, the bottom line is the Gemara kilo tzachgechapt anaya zach that there's an issue of gzeira shem yachata begecholim. So Gemara v'Hasha Damar Mar gzeira shem yachata begecholim. Now that you told me that the whole issue of putting a pot on the fire before Shabbos is nothing to b'shama b'sel, has everything to do with shem yachata begecholim. Hai kedera chayaisa. If it was a kedera that has raw meat in it, you're allowed to put it Erev Shabbos a moment before Cheshech in the Tanur. My time. Because it's not right to eat this meat by night. So for sure, a person's masich das from this pot.
Do anything with the fire.
He's not going to be mechata b'gecholim because
it's not going to help him.
It's not going to help him. Exactly. It's not going to help him at all. Rashi, hay kederech chayais l'shaf b'dom al hashoyis l'chatchilim b'yom b'tamer. Im is b'shelas kol alayla devada chayais alav adayta l'meichel l'urte an chahos. Mishum l'mocher l'osa l'chatuy she'ne yesh lo shuz godl. V'lo yidomi la'asosis v'tur musis that she'en kol alayla v'yom dailahen. Even 24 hours sometimes is not enough for asosis v'tur musis. So that's why we're still choshesh shem yachata b'gecholim. But raw meat usually it takes 4 or 5 hours to cook. So for the night meal, a person's masich das, and for the day meal, what does he have to shake the gecholim? It'll be ready by tomorrow morning.
Today's fires that are hotter, does this apply?
Oh, so that's what that's what the Mishnah Berurah says. Mishnah Berurah says that today's it's hard to rely on the skula because our ovens are better. It's so funny. That our ovens are better, and therefore, we say our ovens. Oh, that's true. Ovens. It's only kikita dummy. It's not like a kupach. It's not like a downer. It's Deutsch biur.
It's a stove top and oven.
We're maker. We say all our ovens, the toich on the top, everything is key.
Cook chicken in an hour and a half. By the time I go to show and come home, I have
I know that's. Yesh lodem bazeh. The stira between these two attitudes.
Even less.
Could be one simple answer is they took in Shabbos early. So they took in Shabbos early. So they usually and then the mizishmarach given as in davening. So from when they took in Shabbos till they ate the meal was a half hour.
No, Rebbe Shemaisis.
Oh, Rebbe Shemaisis. Maybe like the story that the Bach says in Samarish Samach Gimel that in our town he says that Yom Yemima that the Gdola year they used to eat Shabbos meal in the summer, and after they finished the Shabbos meal they used to be metal asfasa nahor, like every good European city that had a nahor in the middle of the city, and it's noch given oida yom gadol, and they were metal asfasa nahor. So maybe that's the cheap tenets. I don't know. So, zog the Gemara back in the Gemara. That's it. The Gemara again. So, it's wrong me. You could put it Erev Shabbos in the Tanur, my time. Because there's no way that person is going to eat it by night. So, a person's masir das. The gecholim is not going to shake around the gecholim. Boshel, if it was fully cooked, anyway, shapir dummy, the meat was fully cooked. There's no problem. Boshel, the villay boshel, when if it's partly cooked, a little not, that's when it's awesome. Bishode begarme, if you put in one bone into the pot, garma chaya, raw bone, so then shapir dummy, the whole pot is good to put without a gruf of tumah. Why? Because of that one raw piece of meat, that one raw bone, is miyayish and he's not going to eat it tonight, and for tomorrow is no chash. Shema yakata b'gechol. Okay. One more Rashi. Boshel, 2 Rashis. A boshel, shapridam, and v'shalas kol tzorke. Shapridam alanicha. If it was fully cooked, you don't need a gruf of tumah. You're allowed to put it. Zanachash v'chitit. Once you put in a raw bone, it's like raw meat because a person is not going to eat it anymore that night, and for the next day we're not choshesh sham yechata begachol. One important Tosfos over here. Tosfos says, boshel v'loy boshel. I'm skipping a few small places because just time is not. Boshel v'loy boshel tzorich lemed delava kamaychel ben dersoy. We have to say that this Gemara is talking about that wasn't called kamaychel ben dersoy. You have a kamaychel ben dersoy. If it was already called kamaychel ben dersoy, sharila shoysel gabi kira. You're allowed to leave it on the kira. Afa b'shein a gruf ktuma, like we said later. Yeah. So it has to be that the Gemara, when we say boshel means kamaychel ben dersoy. Boshel v'loy boshel means less than kamaychel ben dersoy. Funny thing is that Rashi is not masking to Shirish HaTosfos. Rashi is masking the halachas like Chananya, and therefore, according to Rashi, once it's cooked kamaychel ben dersoy, there's no shem yechata. You don't need to have a blech. So why does Rashi say when Rashi says boshel shapir dama, he says mivushelis is cold sorka shapir dama lanicha? Why do you have to say cold sorka? If it was just cooked kamaychel ben dersoy, it's already good enough. And you would not be choshesh for chita. You don't have to have gruf tumah.
Maybe the shit is not Canaan.
That's what I think. That's it. Good. No, I'm saying Memes. Rashi at this point, right? Rashi is Rashi. Why do I have to fakrich now and fatayich the Gemorrah v'Chananya? Later, I'll tell you that I hold like Chananya. Right now, why shouldn't I teach the Gemorrah that it should be I leave it the Kulei Alma? Yeah, a Tosfos, that's not Tosfos start. Tosfos halacha. So right away, Tosfos fatayich. Obviously, we're talking about it was less than kamaychel ben dersoy. It was like kamaychel ben dersoy, and you don't have to have gruf ktuma. It's like interesting. Sometimes you look at different Rashi Tosfos. There's no lumdus. It's the style. Rashi will teach like Gemara. It's the kulei alma. And I'm not talking to. I'm talking to Ben Chamesh Esrei Gemara, and he didn't yet learn about Chananya, and he didn't learn about Chachamim. Let's not go into the whole lumdus. Let's fatayich it the kulei alma. Mashenkin Tosfos, which a lot of Tosfos is going straight to the halacha, and also Tosfos is talking to a yid that loved after learning the Gemara for the first time. Tosfos is going to tell you, look, come on, Akira, but Tosfos assumes he's second time doing Shas, third time doing Shas. V'chatchila learned it Gemara Rashi. Second time around Shas, he learned Gemara Rashi Tosfos. Hey, maybe we should stop it now. Or should...
No, most whites are coming.
They're coming. Okay, fine. So we'll go by.
Only 7. We have one more after them.
He's upstairs. He's told me he's gonna stay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. With Yaakov is staying.
The Akiva Eiger just can't get over himself. He says, the Akiva Eiger says, the Gemara says it's like a chap. Yeah, the Gilead. He says, Mita, what happened? The Gemara didn't realize Shem. How could when you learn the Mishnah and Reish Pei Akira, there's no way to learn it without realizing that the whole issue is Shemi Achata Beget Cholim. So what do you mean? The Bnei Yeshiva that were allowed learning Maseches Shabbos, Tzitz Shabbos, the first Pedic, did they not know what's going on in Pedic Yidin? I mean, come on. The Amayroim, the Bian Amoyra, Mishingalen and Shas Feed Honda Mo. So, and once you learn the first Mishnah in Pedakida, there's no way that you obviously Vavation that the whole thing is Shem Yechata Begecholim. That's the Kud of his pill. He leaves it with a tzarechim. So for the Bekibege, if it leaves a tzarechim, me and you don't have to figure out the teretz. Say that. The only teretz I would give, a cheap teretz, is that the Gemara make believe that because we're going al there. So Taka, we could have brought a ayah from the Gemara later that the issue is Shem Yechata, and but the Gemara did Chodem terei knockout. So you're going to tell me why didn't Rebbe Kiva give such a brilliant teretz? Because it's not a brilliant teretz; it's a cheap teretz. It's below his dignity to give such a teretz. It's short to say below his dignity. It's a clevishman. It's a teretz. Well, I'm saying the violet, in order not to leave his at tzorechim and chas shom, we won't be able to fall asleep tonight, like the Rebbe used to say. It's about the takasha zeishtar. Or to fall asleep, so you could say the chodem and I. The Gemara just wants to get to the point. to say the idea is Shem Yechata B'Gecholim. So therefore, Kedera Chayaisa, if it's raw meat, the person is Meyayish. He knows tonight he's not going to eat it, and for tomorrow he doesn't have to be Makata, so therefore it's not a problem. And that's what, and then the Gemara is going to go on. The Gemara is just trying to get into this thing. You see, it's Shem Yechata. Now that I told you it's Shem Yechata, I have something to tell you. Achida Shakula by Kedera Chayaisa. Okay. Sagt die Gemara weiter. We said Shapir Dom. Hashte Domar Mar. Weiter in the Gemara. Hashte Domar Mar. Now that we said, Kol mi did the kosher le zike le megali le. We said before that there's a whole bunch of things that the syllable was not kosher shema yachata begacholim because
It's going to make worse.
the wind is going to make it so bad for it. The person's never going to open up the oven. So I'm going to say a chiddush to you. Hi bisre de gadye v'shorik. If a person has, we're going to go mamish with Rashi now because that's the first way of learning a Gemara. Hi bisre de gadye v'shorik. If it's a bossa from Agdi, and the tanur is also sealed with the clay. So even though there's no blech, there's no there's no grufat tumah, shapir you're allowed to leave it.
What's the case if it's wrong?
It's a bossa gedi, and the oven was sealed. So
It cooks slower.
Rashi says not the slower. Koshele zika.
No.
Me and you never cook gedi, so we wouldn't understand what it means.
My son cooks it.
Huh?
My son cooks it.
Gedi?
Goat.
Goat. Where do you get goat?
Gedi is a young goat.
Yeah, they sell goat.
I think so.
There.
Very expensive.
Not sheep, not lamb.
Oh, no. Goat.
I'll tell you why. Frume Yidden don't like goat is cheap.
Right.
Goat theoretically,
No, sorry.
a sheep costs zabazach goat. I don't know why. Frum people don't like goat.
Maybe because there's too much.
Ashkenazim.
Barzis on the goat. They make
Maybe because the. Oh no, sure. What the Sfardim.
the ragu. You see, they make
Yeah, yeah.
picture
The goat has a lot of what Sfardim don't eat. What is it called?
Temes Agidim.
Yeah.
So you take from the front. No. It's a cultural thing. Ashkenazim in the shtetl and there's given king gedi. Huh?
Lamb is a sheep.
Right. The lamb is very geschmack. Just has a different taste from boss or shiur. But
The smaller
gedi,
Gedi is a young goat,
no, but not gedi in the Torah. The real gedi, a goat. It's a berdela.
but Gedi is a young one.
Okay, what's the difference? Frum people don't eat nishdi and nishdi.
Oh,
They don't eat that. That's why pomegranate doesn't have it. If customers had a demand for it, they would have
Probably
it.
the meat is not so tasty.
It's not so tasty. That's what it
That's
is.
it.
Elamai, those that know how to cook it, aseli matami. Ze wissen wie man kocht. There's a big asek. It's not. There's a big asek in cooking it, and
Maybe a long time and a slow fire.
Yeah.
but back in the day, it was a big. They gave karbanas all the time.
It's something like the duck.
Also, duck is there schwer.
You have to order it 2 days in advance. The duck, and the restaurant has to put it in the water.
But the duck I see they sell. I see in pomegranate they sell duck. So I guess there is, it's not so complicated to figure out
very, very
to make a duck good.
Very good. No, duck is very dry meat.
No, it's a schmalz, the shuman of the duck.
Yeah.
Man darf aber wissen, wie zu kochen. But a gedi is even harder.
But the problem with the duck, once you're born, you don't have so much meat. Very, very expensive. Very expensive, but they're very little. We used to say it next store.
Yeah. But the duck from me didn't like. But for some reason, the gedi, me esst nicht. I'm saying that it's hard for us to visualize. But the Rashi says, even though everyone likes to sing Chad Gadya, Gadya shorile koshile zike. The wind is not good. When you're cooking gedi, wind is not good. Shorik pniat hanur betit. Savi kisui eine muchen lachtes. As Rashi said before, whenever you put clay around it, by the time you're going to break it, you're going to remember Shabbos. So you have two issues. One is the guy is not inclined to open the oven door because as soon as the wind will come in, he'll ruin the gedi. And second So Zwei Miles. Oh, we got the minion?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly 10.
We'll leave it at.
Thank you.
You opens it on Shabbos by day, right? You
Sure
take
what?
the
No, he's saying if Veda Milas, if it's Koach Batit and there's Gdi inside, we know for sure, even if he's going to eat it by night, we know for sure that he's not going to.
No, in the time.
Yeah, because he's going to ruin it.
Oh,
He's going to ruin the cut of meat. That's why I made that Akdoma.
That's no in the time.
It's hard for us to visualize it.
Yes, coming down.
Most from Eden never ate Gdi. You ever ate Gdi?
I know we shechted it, but I don't know if I tasted it.
Where did you shech the Gdi?
They did like his demonstration. It's cheap. It's like $8.
Yeah, we shechted a Gdi, but it wasn't kosher.
Was it here or was
We had a Gdi and 2 kvasim. The Gdi was treif, so we never ended up eating the Gdi.
The goy did it.
Yeah, when we ate the kevis, we made the barbecue. Okay.
I mean, everybody likes lamb chops.
From Eden like lamb chops,
That's
but they don't
part.
like the goat ragu.
Rebbe, where do we get up to?
Bad when I cook it.
Give me Rebbe.
Yeah, has a very good time, and that's what was preferred for Korban Pesach. Eden preferred that for Korban Pesach. Yeah.
Where do we get up to?
Where do we get up to?
Just to know.
We need you out there.
No, I'll call you 10-11-ish. Whoever comes here good, I'll send them the packs and hopefully it'll be good too. These are all very busy people.
Want to come down?
That's fine for me. Not go. Really like, narrow it down.
25 lines from the bottom.
But what's the word?
The first word in the line.
Is what?
I don't know what it is, but I counted. I already closed the Gemara.
No, I know, but I just want to know what word.
Dummy.
Dummy's the first word on the line.
Yeah.
Dummy kipuigi.
No, dummy
Right?
v'hashta.
How about you Google them now?
Dummy v'hashta. Okay, I see. That's where we're up to. All right, thank you. Yes, kayak Rebbe.
Okay, Bruchim to you. Good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank you everyone for joining us.
You're welcome.